So hey guys, today we're going to try doing a little bit of deck building with the Despia cards because they've finally been unlimited once again. Aluber and branded opening are finally free. So the thing about branded opening and Aluber, the difference between this and the branded fusion cards or that whole Fallen of Albaz package is this is a lot more generic and this doesn't lock you as hard. So if I want to activate Brand Fusion without the help of Verte, then I would need to not do any type of summoning aside from Fusion summoning. But if I were playing a Luber and Branded Opening, I could in fact just Blink Summon and do whatever else I wanted. And it would be perfectly acceptable. So Branded Opening is pretty good and all. It gets you to a Luber, and the card I'm most interested in right now is going to be Despia, Theater of the Branded. So the effect of Theater of the Branded allows you to fusion summon a level 8 or higher fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. So essentially it's polymerization that you can use every single turn. And it also has this lovely effect here. If a face-up non-fusion fairy monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect or is destroyed by battle, you can target one level 8 or higher fusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this can be any fusion monster, and this allows you to essentially have a little bit of a loop. So let's assume I control, it doesn't really matter what fusion monster it is, so let's go with a really gnarly one. Let's go with one of the Pyro fusions, why not? It shouldn't matter. So let's go Fusion, and then go Pyro. And it does need to be the right level though. So let's go with Elemental Hero Inferno, I guess. Actually, nah, um let's go with the Blaze Phoenix instead. So let's assume we control Blaze Phoenix, right? So if you were then to destroy my Blaze Phoenix, right here, it says, if a face-up fusion monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, while this card is in the graveyard, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, special summon this card, and if you do, negate the target monster's effects until the end of the turn. So the other half of this effect is on the card, but it's not necessarily relevant for this. So it's going to special summon a Luber. And then a Luber is a fairy that meets the conditions here. This is going to be our face-up non-fusion fairy monster. Then if you make a Luber leave the field by either battle or card effect, specifically if it leaves, right? That doesn't matter if it's banished or anything. Yep. So trigger a Luber, and then a Luber triggers the theater, and then that allows me to bring back Blaze Phoenix. So at this point in time, you would have to out 3 monsters to fully out, I guess, the Blaze Phoenix here. And is destroyed by battle here implies that I can actually also crash. So if I were to open, just for example, it wouldn't be like that great to open necessarily, but if we open or draw into for turn like tragedy, comedy, or whatever, and we normal summon this and then destroy it by battle because you probably have guys in attack position because you destroyed my Blaze Phoenix and my Louver. I can then normal summon Tragedy, crash my Tragedy to trigger the Theater to bring back Blaze Phoenix, and then now you have to go through the whole gauntlet again where you go destroy Phoenix, and then you destroy a Luber, and then you have to destroy Blaze Phoenix again, which is quite a loop, which is fun in its own way, I suppose. And I mean, it's not like necessarily super overpowered or anything, but it's something you can do for sure. That's what I would say about this. So I'd like to, in general, build a deck around the Theater of the Branded. And to do so, I think there are a few different targets that might be fun to make to some extent. So I'm thinking we probably want ad libitum, at least one copy. Dramaturge is nice as well because this will keep returning to our field if we banish it or whatever. As long as it gets used as a fusion material, it'll just special summon itself pretty much. And it also does have this effect to negate, which can come up. But I don't know if it would necessarily come up in like a really long grind game. So yeah, either way, it's fine. Probably need one of each of these guys. Throw in a Lulu Lilith because why not? I guess Lulu Lilith is mostly if you're playing Grand Guignol, and this goes into the graveyard. So this just requires Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous +1 Light or Dark Monster, which is also fine. Because Blazing Cartesia also acts as essentially a poly, but this is a quick effect. So I'm not 100% sure if there's that many good targets for this, but why not? Could be fun, and I do have a playset as it happens. So throw this in. If you control Fallen of Elbaz or it is in your graveyard. So for this, we probably don't want to play actual Fallen of Elbaz, I'm thinking. So we'll probably instead play Albion, which has some decent targets. If I recall correctly, one of these, it's this one. If a fusion monster was sent to your graveyard this turn, special summon one of your fusion monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there to activate the effect of Fallen of Elbaz this turn, you can set this card. That's pretty nice. And if we actually want to discard, we could play Rendered in High Spirits. During the end phase, if a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard, this turn you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. And this would just be like kind of free discard fodder that we could have. So I mean, I'm interested. But we'll see though. And this doesn't lock you, right? Yeah. So reveal one monster in your hand and send one level 8 fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard with the same type that has 2500 attack or defense. Then you can apply this effect. So in this case, it'll probably be Guignol that we're going to be revealing and sending. And then you can add a Fallen Elbaz or a monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand. In which case we can add Albion, which is not that bad, I guess. But it's not like probably going to be the focus of this deck, is it? Does this mention Fallen of Elbaz? Yeah, it does. So that can kind of work. And I think we need something else. Is there anything that mimics Fallen of Elbaz in the graveyard in Dextra? I don't think there is, right? Yeah, so no point in worrying about that too much. And I think that's pretty done from this point in time. And then we can grab some bystials or something. I don't think we actually need Masquerade. Masquerade's kind of funny if you want to summon a bunch of them, I guess, but not really the specific purpose of this build necessarily. I'd be more interested in messing around with some of the Dark Lord stuff, but I mean, it feels kinda costly to an extent. Greffa, Dragon Lord of Dark World plus a Dark Monster, this condition is actually not too hard to meet, and I think we can meet the conditions for this. So we can play Greffa or a Fusion sub. A Fusion sub would make more sense to play though, so that's probably what we're going with. So we'll do King of the Swamp, I guess. And I'm not even sure if we want to play a polymerization, but we could. And I'm not sure how many kings we would play, or if we are better off playing like one of the Hexield fusions because they're lighter dark. So actually that might be better. If we're not playing poly, right? So let's go with the Dark Hexield, because I feel like that would have a little bit more synergy. And do I have a second Grand Guignol? Oh yeah, I do. So I guess we can put in the second one, might as well. And then we can probably run bystials, I'm feeling. And the focus here is really the Despia cards. So we'll go on Dispatter because we might be able to summon it. We'll see. And then... oh wait, yeah, this is a tuner. We can summon it. No problem. So, Gross Worm next. Magma, Truesworm, Lubellion. Then we can grab. Technically, a Tude is usable, and it wouldn't be that bad to have a Tude actually. Well, yeah, just gotta think about it a little bit. Serenair's fine. Regain is good. Brand Beast is good. Eldrake. You'd want like one of each of these. Visual Looper is not that great. If this card's normal special summon, you can discard one card, then target one drain monster your opponent controls, or in the graveyard, then you can take control of that monster or special summon it to your field, depending on which effect. Okay. Doesn't really help us out that much. I guess we can play Albalos for fun. Shouldn't be that bad, I guess. Not that good either. Dreaded v Fallen. Targets a bestial monster you control, or your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your bestial monster. Take out light or dark monster in either graveyard back to it, and if you do, negate that activated effect. That's kind of fun, but it's not like particularly useful. Tude, if you control a bestial monster, this would banish cards that would be normally sent to the graveyard and stuff. Huh. This kind of doesn't even counter Drytron, does it? Oh. Does Drytron even, like, tribute anything for the ritual summons? I don't think they do. Do they? I'd have to read the exact wording again. But yeah, we should be fine in general, I think. Wait. This is Soft One's return? Oh, dude. That's kind of neat, actually. We could play two of these and it wouldn't be too problematic, I guess. We might break, but that's fine. So, Allure, I guess. That's great. And then probably want a Verte, I'm thinking. Verte's not bad. And then we'll want probably this. This Rare Phoenix Enforcer. Then we'll go Celestial Dasher. Seems good to me, I guess, if we go with Celestial Dasher. Got some Garnets in there, but you know, it should be not too horrendous. And actually, I do want more copies of Lubellion. And then we can throw in Warlord Furious. Technically, should be fine to play. And then the new fusion monsters, I'm not really sure if they're super great here. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, Star Source. Yeah, we can just run this light or dark dragon monster plus one dragon monster. And then if this card is banished, you can target one level 4 light or dark dragon monster you control, its level becomes 8. That's not going to be super relevant. The first Dark Lord would be fun, but I don't know if I'm a fan of the light point thing right now. And we aren't really playing Morning Stars, so it's kind of just whatever. And also, we're not able to do that much right now. I feel like we could do a bit more with this stuff. If we just were to throw in, just thinking about this out loud, I suppose. If we just put in one Aluber and then like 3 Branded Opening into any deck, we could technically then play well, in like any light or dark deck, I guess, we could then play Masquerade over here. And Masquerade is non-activated effect, like Red Eye's Flare Metal, so it wouldn't allow you to activate like a triple tactics, talents, or thrust, which is neat. And how many could we actually generically summon? I think the max would probably be 2, probably. That would be my guess. But how would we do this? Let's think about this for a second. So if I start with Branded Opening, that doesn't get me into 2 Masquerade, does it? So if I wanted 2 Masquerades, the logical way would be to do it with Branded Fusion, I guess. So we had branded fusion, sending, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Fallen of Albaz, plus, I guess, tragedy, and that would summon Lubellion. Lubellion can then shuffle them back, and this gets sent by effect, allowing us to add Aluber. Then we can normal Aluber, I guess, to grab maybe Theater, and then we would still need another lighter dark monster in hand to make the Masquerade, which is kind of awkward. I mean, kind of works, I guess. Alright. Fusion Destiny, I suppose. We'll grab that. And we don't really have a target for Birthday aside from Fusion Destiny. But you know what? This just means the deck needs some work. I mean, these are the elements I want to include. I think the thing we could cut the most is like Albalos. Screams of the Branded is this that useful special summon one of your fusion monsters that smash or in the graveyard. Huh. I'm not sure if this effect's even that great. Like, what would I even bring back? Is this soft once per turn? No. That's on fusion summon. Is this soft once per turn? No. Well, actually, this effect down here isn't hard once per turn, I just realized. Not that it really matters, right? Yeah. I'm not sure. A lot of these cards have hard once per turns. I guess it's mostly just for Mirror Jade, right? I don't see what else you would be bringing back. You'd be bringing back Albion to trigger it again, I guess. Like by sending it to the graveyard a second time. After you, like, summon it. The fact that this doesn't like, allow us to, like, bring back anything is kind of annoying to an extent. Not really feeling great about Screams. I think there was another card that was like kind of decent. I'm not sure which one it was though. Branded. I guess we'd play technically Retribution and this wouldn't be that bad. But it's not like that great for Despia necessarily, I don't think. What can we do with Despia anyways? Branded Banishment. You can still make like, I guess, some Predaplant cards. I'm mostly looking at the Dragostapeli, I guess. We'd run Super Volley in this. Because we have a lot of darks and lights here, so that's something. And actually, now that I think about it, this has an effect to tribute, right? Contribute one fusion monster, special summon this card. Well, you would need your opponent to be on a fusion deck, but if we played Lair of Darkness, we could quick effect tribute a fusion monster, which is interesting. And Comedy just special summons itself and does nothing else. Yeah, I guess. Maybe we could use Chenging or something. I'm feeling maybe Chenging. So the idea with this lineup for the extra deck in particular, like aside from the Guardian Chimera, I don't know what I'm doing with that necessarily. I guess we can summon it off of Theater, sure. But the main idea here, well, we're just messing around. Oh, actually, why is Blaze Phoenix still here? But yeah, main idea is if we go, well, if we have Chenging, we can pop Chenging with DPE. So if we do that, we can then, well, it's not necessarily for just this deck, just the general idea. We can DPE, try to pop the Changing, and then pop something else, right? And then this will trigger Changing's effect to banish a card from the graveyard, and this allows us to banish essentially any card from the graveyard. And why this matters is that we could banish, just for example, let's assume maybe we're playing Duster. It doesn't really need to be Duster, it could be something we could search as well. But we can banish Duster, and then we can technically A bit later, we can do Dispatter effect, which is target a banish card, shuffle it into the deck, then apply an effect. So if it's one of our cards specifically, it is the effect to destroy. This is only when your opponent activates a monster effect, which is weird. There's no real good way, I think, to continuously force our opponent to activate a monster effect that can't actually be destroyed by Dispatter. That'd be weird. I mean, actually, no, there is a way technically, but it would be giga dumb. So we won't go that far, I suppose, unless we do in the future. That's a different topic. But yeah, Dispatter, and then put back whatever card, and then we can search it again. So in this case, it could be like an Aluber, it could be Fusion Destiny, it could be Branded Beast. Wouldn't really matter. And then we can search it again, and then we can therefore use it again. So in this case, we would Duster again. We would have to draw the Duster again, but we could Duster again, which is interesting. And in terms of extra deck cards, we can put them back as well, which is kind of interesting with this. So in terms of grind game, I mean, but we're making a little bit of progress here. I would probably want to remake this deck again, and I'm thinking maybe with Orcus cards, perhaps. But this is just the amalgamation I've made for the day, and it's just not going to be that crazy, right? The Dark Hexial Fusion in particular, it's kind of hard to use here. So, not really sure how we can really perform Fusion Summon using cards in the graveyard, like, super well. Wish we had a better way to do that without using, like, Fallen of Elbaz and Albion. But it is what it is, I suppose. Should still work alright, in my opinion. Albion, though. I don't think we can even use this, right? Not in a good way, I don't think. We can put Albion in here for fun, though. Because it is, in fact, a dragon, which we could technically... Do we need this? I think it's useful for making granted in high spirits, right? 2,500 attack or defense. Discard the revealed monster. If you do, add Fallen of Elbaz or one monster dimensions back to your hand. Okay, that effect's just weird. Alright. Despia nonsense. I mean, we're running no hand traps right now, so we're just messing about. But we haven't really had the opportunity to do this as consistently because we had like one branded opening and then like one or two Aluber, depending on like the event and the exact ban list. It was pretty bad. So we're going to change the list here and just mess around a little bit. So obviously, list not optimized, it's just got the ideas. Optimization can come later. Alright. Not bad. Bestial Loop Velion. Grab this. And then we'll probably add Magnemite. Makes sense to me, I guess. We won't necessarily be able to go into, I think, Verte this turn or Synchro stuff. Because our engine doesn't really allow it, I guess. So we'll go with this. I think this makes sense. Add from your deck to your hand. So we can grab any of these cards. Read it in high spirits. Anything I want to do with this? Not particularly. We can just add Branded Regain, and that'd probably be good. I think, actually, yeah. And we can do this. We'll discard, I guess, the Dasher, which is fine because we can just put it back in the deck with the Regained. Here we'll just probably grab the Dramaturge, I think makes sense, or the Tragedy. Tragedy's a little bit better, I think, actually, yeah. We don't have to special summon into the field, it doesn't really matter. Activate Theater. We'll just Magma here. Because why not, right? Dasher, put that back. Activate both effects, I guess. And I mean, it's not like anything super incredible, I guess, but it's nice. Oh, not a bad one to draw. And then we do this. Magma goes to the graveyard, so next turn we can get another bystial. Okay. And then here we can grab Beast. Now that I think about it, we can have more targets now. I mean, they're not necessarily super great to open, but Luber can search them now, so that's something. Okay, we can now go Theater. Special summon something. We can just make Briskinion. So we'll do 1, 2. Wait, why can't I do that? Despia monster, +1 light monster, +1 dark monster. It's because we don't have a light. Okay, that's why. So I think it's probably still these two, right? No point in putting a Luber in the graveyard right now, as it happens. Too bad a Luber's not a dragon. It would be, well, in the context of Beast, I guess. Add a card. I think a Luber's probably the best one just for next turn. Can't really do anything with the rest of these. It'd be nice if there was a quick effect fusion with like a continuous branded card here. If we could make Verte, that'd also be nice. I'd like to link off those two personally, right? Yeah, okay. It's still like alright. Could be worse. I'm gonna grab Swarm here. And then Magma can also grab us our copy of Fallen of Elbaz later. Now that I think about it, this card can be kind of crummy, depending on the situation. Normal summon Mothman's weird. The only time you do that is maybe if you have 2 Mothman, I guess. It's not like that ludicrous. Punching a Luber is fine. Doesn't really change much for us here. Wait, what, really? Okay. We'll add... Do we want Albion for something? We can make Warlord Furious, I guess. And then... I guess we can Drew Swarm, it's fine. This will trigger Tragedy. So right now I'm mostly testing the synergies, I guess. So we in Tragedy to search, actually. So... Bystials and the Despian cards clearly have a lot of synergy. Not really 100% sure how to capitalize on them right now, but pretty cool overall. Now we can add Libitum here. If I had the Blazing Cartesia, I think we'd do some stuff. Which is neat, I guess. We can also activate Albion's effect, right? To send a guy. What am I sending with Albion, actually? Credit in High Spirits, I guess. That's the only thing I really want to send. And I mean, they're not that bad to draw, actually, because it sends for cost as well. Pretty gross card, things considered. And then if I play multiple copies of Branded Beast, it's actually not even that bad, because it's off once per turn. I can activate them again and again. Kinda wild. So here, we can then go activate this. We can summon any of these guys. We can go Guardian Chimera. We can go Dragostapella. This is also actually... Is this? No. Hard once per turn. Okay. Now we can do Briskinion. So 1, 2, and then 3. We'll do these 3. Briskinion. And then we go Ad Libitum. Wait, Ad Libitum brings back what? You target one of your Despia monsters or level 8 or higher fusion monsters. You can bring back these guys as well if I want. But we'll just bring back those, and this will bring back itself. So right now we're just messing around a little bit, and maybe we mix this with like maybe a white forest. I'm thinking potentially. We'll see. There are a lot of spells and traps here. They kind of cycle themselves. What's this say? Fusion, Synchro XYZ or Link monster is special summoned except during the dance step. Oh, that I chain link that correctly. Then we can negate a card. What card does this negate? Affect monsters. Okay. Then we branded in high spirits because we already have it, I guess. What does this do? Select the monster to send to the graveyard from your extra deck. I guess it would be this one. Then we can add Cortesia, and this counts as a Fallen of Elbaz, right? And then we'd be able to also fusion summon here. Yeah, okay. So it's not like the best here because I put Priscini in here and our zones are like a bit loaded. So I'm still thinking about what to add into the extra deck, but you know, I mean Cortesia here. Cortesia form some kind of fusion summon. I didn't even fully check the targets. I guess we can go like Bullet Furious here, and that'd be like fine, right? And we have like a lot of effects just in general here. Now that I think about it, probably shouldn't have done that in that particular way. We can make Lulu Lilith here as well, which is cool, I suppose. We can summon this, sending Bullet Furious. We can do this effect now, I guess. I guess we can send an opening here, because then our guys can't be destroyed, which is kind of neat in its own kind of way, I suppose. What targets do I have left to search? I think I'm running out of targets here to search, right? It's just mostly adding follow-up after a certain point in time. Yeah. Not necessarily what I would call great, but it's fine. This is still hella lethal. Okay. I feel like I could layer more things here. Kind of just working it out a little bit, but yeah. Even in this current state, that deck itself is actually surprisingly not that bad. Well, immediately after testing, we can definitely make like everything here. We can make Chengying as well. I don't know about making them on like necessarily the same turn, but we can do that. Thing we would cut out most likely would be Grapha for the time being because the deck isn't revolved around this enough for it to matter. So probably cut like these two at least. I think we can still run Albalos and we wouldn't be that bad if we wanted to play without accessing this stuff too much. Like, I think Albalos is okay, personally, right? Yeah. You could probably play it in a build kind of like this, I feel. Requires you to have two bestial monsters, which I'm not really sure how to get the bestial monsters for this necessarily out onto the field, but it feels pretty summonable, all things considered, right? Well, actually, tribute. Hold on. Comedy. If this card is in your graveyard, you can tribute one fusion monster. Special summon is good. It's a fusion, right? If it wasn't just fusions, we could technically maybe do something like I was thinking comedy tributes the seals. But I mean, if we can't do that, then it's fine. How about a tome? What does this do? Detach a material from this card, special summon, and dragon monster from your deck. Make its attack in defense 0. But you can activate its effect. Interesting. Then there's also the idea of using Chaos Space. And then we could Chaos Space to grab, technically, Lubellion. I don't know if we can really use the Graveyard effect, necessarily unless we really spec for it, right? which is rough. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.